We thought Twisted Metal 1 was a flop. We didn't know if we had careers left at Sony.
Luckily, it was good enough to warrant a sequel, and that's when we were able to really kind of pull out all the stops and do a lot of things that we wanted to do with the first version.
We really, were excited to get into the second one because then we felt like we knew, really how to make it the game that we wanted to play.
We knew that Sony wanted to do a sequel, and I know Jaffe, Michael Jackson and I were really excited to basically put in a lot of the things that we didn't do and improve on a lot of the things that really sucked in Twisted Metal 1. The darkness, the graphics, the controls, the list goes on.
And so we were like, okay, we have to fix this. We have to fix everything that we screwed up in the first place, which means, we went so far as to say, let's forget them being cars, let's make them hover cars because they'll be easier to control.
We talked about hovering cars and cars with insect legs, that could climb up buildings and things like that.
Let's make them insects because insects don't move as fast and they can't get caught on objects. I mean, we were looking, we would go into like stores and watch people play the game on kiosks. And they were banging into walls, they were going too fast, and it really wasn't a very pick up and play game. We thought that was the reason we were getting such bad focus test and play test. And so we were doing everything we could to sort of remedy that. We even said, let's forget the car combat, let's do missions. Like you're a car and you've got missions like, a secret agent, but you're in a car. And then the reviews started to hit, and then the sales started to come in, and then the people on what at the time were sort of the BBSs and the beginnings of the internet started to sort of write about, oh my God, this game is awesome.
My favorite Twisted Metal moment, probably a lot of people feel this way, is when the Eiffel Tower came down for the first time.
The Paris level was probably one of the bigger or more popular levels, mainly because, of the, you could drop the Eiffel Tower and it would open up kind of a whole other level, which was the rooftops of the Paris buildings. And, it was something that was just such a cool level that we all wanted to try to make it work. I just kind of, it was actually during a single track staff meeting that during the whole staff meeting, I just started off with kind of a grid with some angled streets and then, put the Eiffel Tower. And the question was, could we afford this? It kind of became a mission for us to make this level work. I remember when you looked at the level and we started reviewing it, and I remember Jaffe saying, dude, if you could make this thing work the way that you're saying it could work, we got to do it. I have to say, because of the graphic style, I never really thought that there was any sensitive nature up until a member of the French press came to Singletrack to look at some of the levels, and he was quite offended when he saw the Eiffel Tower go down. It kind of just fueled everybody to kind of get more wacky and destroy more sensitive type of icons. And we try to get that gameplay and the dynamics and everything working as early on in the process as we can. That way we get gameplay kind of leading the development and production charge, and that, in our case, that's always first and foremost, gameplay, gameplay, gameplay.
I loved working on the mechanics of Twisted 2. I love the idea of, can we build depth into the gameplay? Can we build strategy into the level design? I thought that was really, really exciting.
I think all those things factored into it as, making it the best of the series. Doing Twisted Metal 1 and Twisted Metal 2 took an enormous toll on myself and the rest of the team. And to really not have any financial upside that as a result of that really started to I think affect myself and the rest of the team. We put so much time and effort into these titles, and now they were seeing decent success, with Twisted Metal 2 being a $1 million+ seller, we started to, have conversations of, wow, this really sucks to pour your heart and soul into something, put your family on the back burner, and at the end of the day, what did you get from it? Well, a reputation for making a good, fun car combat game. That wasn't enough going forward, and I think that really started the start of the exodus of a lot of us. Regarding Twisted Metal 3 and 4, I think my reaction and many other people on the team is, what have you done with our baby?
I didn't really play Twisted Metal 3 and 4 very much. To me, they weren't really Twisted Metal, because they didn't have the same feel at all.
When they said that the guys from Utah weren't going to be doing Twisted 3, it was going to be the guys in San Diego, I was like, all right, I'll help them out if I can, but it's not that I didn't care, like, screw Twisted Metal, I don't care, but I had sort of moved on, so it didn't really bother me. It only bothered me once the games came out. You have to sort of understand the world of Twisted Metal to make a Twisted Metal game, and I think what those guys got was they understood it sort of at a marketing level. Twisted Metal's cool, and the characters are dark, and they're wacky, but it was done like a 40-year-old trying to be cool, versus actually somebody who got the world and loved the world and respected the world. It felt more like they were trying to sort of, they were like posing, basically, and I think it really comes through in every aspect of those games.
So, Sweet Tooth, your wish is to eat all the candy and ice cream you want? Your wish is granted.
Oh, Jesus, when I saw the Sweet Tooth character design for 3 and then 4, which was worse, I mean, he looked like a Carney Barker with these stupid neon purple pants, and it's like, what is this? Sweet Tooth is, like I've said, Sweet Tooth is me. Sweet Tooth is the darkest, most animalistic side of me, and you guys are turning him into a joke. I know the guys who made 3 and 4. They're good guys. Some of them have moved on to make some really great games in the industry. But those games, you know what I'd say? By and of themselves, I think there are things in those games that are certainly cool. And there's good work in those games on every aspect, code and art and game design. That's not to say by themselves they're bad games, they're just bad Twisted Metal games.
So that's when we set out to start Incognito on the new platform, PlayStation 2, with Twisted Metal Black.
Black was tough because we knew we were getting the series back, me and the guys in Utah, and we knew we weren't relevant anymore. We knew that the industry had moved on. We knew that sort of what was edgy and cool in 1994, 5, and 6 was no longer edgy and cool in 2001. And so what I was in love with on Twisted Metal Black was the world, and the tone, and the characters, and the stories.
Sony would let Dave do really kind of risque things. They were graphic, they were bloody, they were gory, and they weren't just made for, little tiny kids that were probably never intended to play Twisted Metal, especially by Twisted Metal Black.
At the time, a lot of people were looking for really arcadey, bright, happy-looking games, and to make this shift to a really dark game was really sort of a gamble in a way. We knew that we were going for a totally different style. It was going to be a more mature game. We wanted to be dark and kind of foreboding.
For the first time, we were important. We were feared.
And feel like a dangerous world.
A lot of times you think that when someone has these kind of ideas, you're thinking, are they trying too hard to be edgy and cool and not nerd-like, or do they really kind of think this way? And it really became obvious that in the case of David Jaffe, there really is some deep, dark, evil motivations that kind of, I think, spark his imagination.
There were things I wanted to do in Black that they wouldn't let me do, and some of it was just so